Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic.
You are welcome back to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Match day 2, Ghana 2023 WAFU B Under 20 Girls Cup. It's happening here in Kumasi at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. My name is Nafisa Fatah. I will be doing this with Prince Annan. Good. Let me welcome you once again. This is the second match of the day between Burkina Faso and then Togo. Prince, first match has ended. We've seen 7 unanswered goals from Nigeria to Niger. This is the second match in Group B, which Burkina Faso is playing Togo. Yep. What are we expecting? We've enjoyed matches from yesterday. The Giants have already opened up the tournament with Ghana taking on yesterday and Nigeria also coming up. What are we expecting from Burkina Faso and Togo?
Well, thank you very much, Nafisa. First of all, the big guns have put their signatories to the card already. Ghana won comfortably by a 3-goal margin. The Nigerians did double that +1, so 7 goals, a rout over their opponent Niger here earlier on. So the expectations are high. The fans have started trooping into the stadium to watch the second game, and I'll tell you why. We don't know too much about women football when it comes to the Francophone countries, especially Burkina Faso and Togo. But I can tell you for a fact that we should be very careful, especially of the Burkina Faso side. Now, one of the things they've tried to do is trying to grow their youth football under 17 and under 20 levels. They have also run the ladies by them. So there's some amount of improvement in their game as compared to probably what we'll see, what we saw earlier on against Niger. Okay, so they are coming into this game with a lot of promise. Again, I have been checking the CAF website, and it looks like most of their technical handlers have gone through the process of getting their notifications in terms of their qualifications. And so again, the anxiety for these countries, especially women football, is also quite high. Thirdly, they have managed to develop the fundamentals, the basics of the women's game. They provided them with pitches, they provided them with facilities to train on, and so again, the Francophones may have their noses edged up ahead as compared to probably the Anglophone part of West Africa. But all said and done, we are expecting to see a technical game on the field of play. Not yet sure what kind of approach the Togolese will come into this game. But the Francophones, that is the Burkina Faso, they will be using the flanks a lot to their advantage. Okay. They have a lot of upper strength, so they're also going to use that to their advantage. Probably what the Togolese have may be that fast rhythm in their game. But once Burkina can break them down, probably the first 10-15 minutes, it will give us a fair idea of what to expect.
Okay, so we'll be quickly wrapping up because you've been signaled that we have to wrap it up and then go. So we'll be coming up, and then Burkina Faso will be taking on Togo shortly. So this is what we are getting the signal from the tunnel that we should wrap up on the tarmac now. So we'll be going straight to the tunnel, and then Burkina Faso will be coming up against Togo.
These are the two teams that are warming up towards this crucial game. That is a game involving Burkina Faso and then Togo for the second game in Group B here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. And it is, of course, match day 2 so far as the WAFU Zone B Under 20 Girls Tournament is concerned. Nigeria already recorded a massive victory of 7 goals when they played against Niger. And that was the game that saw the likes of Esther Okpeyemi Geffen a hat-trick in this maiden edition of this tournament altogether. How will these two teams fare, knowing that Niger, as it stands in Group B, for this tournament will lie at the bottom without any point, plus -0 of the goals that they have conceded so far. It's been 7. So it's a huge game altogether for a team like Burkina Faso and then Togo, who would love to at least get points heading into this game in order to have a very good standing in Group B and avoid having the same fate as Niger had in the opening game. Respective warm-up by these two teams, and in no time all of them would of course start and let everyone gathered here together with the president of the WAFU Zombie, Ketia Sokreku, and his entourage, and all the officials of the Confederation of African Football who are here in their numbers, together with all the fans who have turned up here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium to have a feel of this lovely tournament. Its inaugural stage aimed at helping girls who are under 20 years to unveil to the world, to display to the world, to let everyone know what they are made up of. A different tournament all together. How ready are they? Burkina Faso have very good standing in such tournaments, and that has been their niche in all games that they have involved themselves in. So exactly at 6 p.m. live on Max TV, a live telecast of the game will be brought to your doorsteps, kind courtesy of IMAX Media. This is one of the most vitals, the most important step that footballers always love to do before games do take place. And there they are being ushered onto the pitch. A great game altogether. How ready are they in order to let everyone see them in this game? Which of these teams would have 3 points just as Nigeria are having? Warm up. This is by the Togo national team, precisely their under 20 team. Warming up, and it happens to be the basics, the vitals needed. They need to do it vigorously, and the coaches need to monitor, because in no time they need to be on the field. 11 apiece from the two teams, making a total of 22 players, all of them with the target of letting everyone know. So warm up by them. They need to warm everything up, all aspects, all parts. They are going to run for the next almost a couple of hours, 90 minutes plus. So this is very important to them, and it's no surprise that they have the official right there, tutoring them on how to do it and do it best. And she leads with example, just like that, and they go. They are girls who are ready to learn, ready to ensure that they let the world know that this is the profession that they have chosen, and this is what they are doing best. As is broadly seen, with just few minutes, the game would start. WAFU Zone B under 20 girls tournament. Togo and Burkina Faso in a warm-up session. How best would they do it, and how good would they appear to be on the pitch? We await as they finally go through their warming up process. The two physios of the teams are ensuring that the girls do it accurately. They are now in the tunnel about to come out. If you just joined, you are watching the live telecast of the WAFU Zone B Group B games. This is the second one. Burkina Faso up next against Togo. Which of these teams would have the next 3 points? The venue is Baba Yara Sports Stadium, and that's indicated 2023. Ghana is the host, and Ghana won their first game. Burkina Faso and Togo, two neighbors, two French-speaking countries. So it will be very difficult for the other to maneuver through language in terms of when these players are playing, because all of them have French to be the official language, and that is what these players will be using to communicate on the field. Ghana as the host, Burkina Faso, Togo, Niger, Ivory Coast, all of them participating in this prestigious and annual tournament. Benin is inclusive, and those are the kind of tournaments that are usually organized by CAF, aimed at helping football in entirety in the continent to develop. Just recently, when the African Cup of Nations was held in Cameroon, we equally saw the WAFU Zone B, the championship for clubs, equally been organized. And this is not a different tournament. This is also one of the birthrights of CAF. Fans are ready for the action. They were delighted by Nigeria in the opener. They are anticipating to have same or perhaps more excitement that they did in the opening game, where Niger just had to hold on and absorb the attack from Nigeria. So fans are ready. The cameras are equally ready. Every department is ready. What is left is the action, and that is what we are waiting from these two teams. WAFU Zone B Under 20 girls tournament. I'm really eager to see how these teams have lined up, and the tactics and of course the formations that these coaches are going to use in this game. Is it going to be the attacking formation? Is it going to be the diamond formation, or otherwise? The expatriates are not left out. They are enjoying themselves on a Sunday evening here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. So these are the girls, the Falconets of Nigeria. They just trumped Niger by 7-0. Second game, they've decided to wait and watch their prospective opponents in their second game. So they are coming out and ready to battle it out. If you are in a group where you have Nigeria, on the other hand, earlier was Ghana's team as well. They've been brought here in order to equally ensure that they witness how such tournaments are played, so that when their time comes for them to also make the country proud, they wouldn't find any difficulty. The teams are coming out as we await the action. Burkina Faso versus Togo. WAFU Zone B U-20 Girls Cup. Live on Max. They are working on in anticipation. So intense, so ready, so alert, all smiles. Their form of equally also easing their pressure as they await this huge task ahead of them, with a large number of their citizens home cheering them on to victory. We now wait for the national anthems of the two teams involved.
Ladies and gentlemen, kindly be on your feet as we take the national anthem of Togo. Mesdames et messieurs, soyez toujours arrêtés pour l'hymne national du Burkina. Keep on standing for the national anthem of Burkina Faso. Kindly take your seat.
That's the rendition of the national anthems of the two teams, Burkina Faso versus Togo. Officials are ready for this crucial encounter. The teams know what is at stake, that this is a must-win game for them if they would want to have good standing in this group. They can't afford to be sluggish. They need to give their best. Before we get started, these are the starting lineups for the team. Starting with Burkina Faso, they have Fauzatu Wadragru in goalpost. They equally have Adeline Kabori, Alima Tabelem, Dinah Cynthia Kabori. They have Latifatu, Naomi Adali Kabri, Linda. They have Helby, and then Florentine, Congo Adama, and then Salamatu Kunda. So these are the starting lineups for Burkina Faso, and there they are in your short white with shorts of red. Huge game altogether for them. Togo, on the other hand, they are in blue. But how have they lined up for this game? What is their preparations? Are they ready to cause an upset? If you're asking for how very familiar they are with each other, then they are more than the word familiar. And these are the charges for Togo on the other hand. They have Zutepe as part of their defenders, Kuglo, and then Salifu and Bajriam. They equally have the likes of Gwemadu and then Pomvi, Kayaba, and then Azi Mavi. So these equally on the other hand are for that of Togo in your shot yellow this evening. Huge game, and the readiness is everything that all of us are looking forward to. The eagerness is there, and that is the coach of Burkina Faso. He knows he can't afford to disappoint. He needs to produce results. Pascal. Togo going through their final hurdles. And this is quiet on the other hand. A game that they will love to let their fans at home in Togo, Lomé and its environs know that they came to this tournament well prepared. And it would be Togo to get us started. Togo in yellow playing from right to left with the referee blowing her whistle. Burkina Faso versus Togo, their second game in Group B. Togo in possession, trying to take their time because they have a very solid goalkeeper who is ready from all angles when the shots are fired to parry it off to safety. Gloria in goal post. And they are not in a haste to send the ball to the half of Burkina Faso, whilst the Burkinabés are waiting. Strategic approach by the Togolese, and there they surge forward with a very glorious chance. Goalkeeper Fauziatu had to be very swift in that regard. What a different approach altogether. They were just waiting. Togo. Free kick to Togo for a foul on Tatiana Kayaba. So the spark of these teams in the early minutes definitely is Togo. Free kick to Togo. Fauziatu to defend in goal post for Burkina Faso. Togo with a free kick. Amivi sent it in ahead of Togo. Just a whisker away. Tatiana needed just a tap-in to complete what they started in reference to their build-up. Goal kick to Togo. Goal kick to Burkina Faso. And Burkina would want to also be in the half of the Togolese. Gloria. Burkina Faso, the under 20 women's team. They were involved in qualifiers ahead of the World Cup. But unfortunately for them, despite how good they started, recording their first victory during the qualifiers, all the others that they played, they lost and ended up being eliminated. Free kick to Togo for a foul on Linda. Linda ends Burkina Faso. Free kick. Alimata takes for Burkina Faso. But Amra clears for Togo. Jessica. But Burkina Faso reclaim possession. Togo been very tactical. Less than 5 minutes, but we've had at least something to be elated about. Free kick to Togo. Linda claims possession for Burkina Faso. Linda to Alimata. Alimata with the first control. Back to Linda in the heart of midfield. Helby's long range pass aimed at finding Congo Adama wasn't fruitful. Linda with quite an incisive pass. But Idaya Salifu was right in time in order to curb off that danger for Togo. Throw in. Togo under 20 on the other hand. A team that had its best record been at the third round of the qualifiers. We want to use this WAFU Zone B tournament to launch back their ambition. Diana Cynthia to Helby. Togo. Amra. Less than 10 minutes, Burkina Faso are still not without a goal. Neither are the Togolese having, so it's goalless. Povi to Tatiana. Free kick. Tatiana winning free kick at a very good position for Togo. Linda was strategic with that foul, but the referee realized that that should be an advantage for the Togolese. Fauziatu, the goalkeeper of Burkina Faso. She wants a firm wall constructed. And there should be a chance for at least Togo to have the first goal. Idaya Salifu for Togo. Idaya to take. We should go for goal or give an assist. It hits the wall. Not the best of free kicks taken by Salifu. Latifatu of Burkina Faso, but Lenda has to come and help out. Lenda for Burkina Faso. The ball crosses the line. So since matches in Group A have been played, it means that Group B are having their turn, and Ivory Coast would be having their next game. But for Ivory Coast, that will be their first game altogether in the coming week. Congo Adama for Burkina Faso. Free kick. At least she gets a free kick for head troubles. If you look at how the teams are playing, you will definitely realize that these are teams that know themselves very well. Togo played friendly with Benin as their final friendly to wrap up their preparations for this tournament, and they were beaten 2-1 by Benin. But that is friendly. This is the major tournament, their first game as such. What is needed is the results. Free kick. Naomi to take for Burkina Faso. Naomi sends quite a good delivery. Kovi, Burkina Faso. Another attempt by Congo Adama blocked. Latifatu to Salamatu Kunde. Corner kick. Corner kick. The first of the game going in favor of Burkina Faso. Gloria needs to ensure that she defends that. Burkina Faso, a very long corner kick taken, which overhits. 10 minutes, Burkina Faso 0, Togo 0. Latifatu. Latifatu straight to Salamatu. And Togo are taking their time to build. Idaya Salifu. They get a throw in. The women's under-20 tournament that Ghana is hosting has seen different results been recorded. Kuvi for Togo. Goal kick. Fauzia 2. Jessica for Togo, back to Akuvi. But Naomi Adali Kabri and Burkina Faso are on the offensive. Burkina. Free kick to Togo. Huge job done by Idaya Salifu of Togo. She knew that getting herself in front of Congo Adama would give her the advantage. So these girls are well tutored. And when they are on the field, they just have to give out what has been thought in the dressing room. Congo Adama by Ameli of Togo ensures that the possession goes in favor of her side, and Togo building from behind. As they continue their quest of getting the first goal in this game. Linda Munifatu of Burkina Faso. The first touch, which was good, was intercepted. Salifu Idaya all the way to Kovi. Kovi sent the ball back to Ajovi. Linda overheating with that touch. 15 minutes is still goalless. But that wasn't the situation in the opening game for Group B. Nigeria had their first goal in 2 minutes. That tells you their intent. And as much as these two teams can't be compared to that of Niger, they are also special in their own area. Togo. Munifatu at a very good position for Burkina Faso. And Togo are having a player on the ground, but referee is playing the advantage since the Togolese are still in possession. A strike on goal off target. Goal kick. Tatiana Kayaba of Togo. That was when she picked that knock, even before Amivi came out with that solo effort. So it's WAFU tournament, first of its kind. If you just joined, that is what you are watching, and this is a game involving Burkina Faso, who are in white, playing from left to right in the first period against Togo, who are in yellow and playing from right to left. Tatiana. Tatiana to Jessica. These two teams haven't fared badly at all. Goal kick. It hasn't been a one-sided affair. It's been an end-to-end stuff. Ajuvi. Congo Adama of Burkina Faso. Congo miscues. Linda Congo, Adama once again with a different attempt. Salamatu with that poor kick. Empty goal post. After goalkeeper Gloria had committed, she just needed to come up with an accurately and technically good strike. Salamatu should have made it better by putting Burkina Faso in the lead. Burkina Faso going all out once again, but Amra Munifatu to Lenda. If you look at how Burkina Faso, their football has evolved, even in the African Cup of Nations that they recently participated, they made it all the way to the semi-finals. That was in the 2021 AFCON. They made it to the semi-finals, and that was when the likes of Kabori and Traore, all of them ensured that they put their fans in the buoyant and happy mood that they've always yearned to have. So for football, this is not an alien sport to the Burkinabes. It's something they are very good at, even with their teams, their clubs. They've been very vibrant, very active in club competitions. Free kick. Alimata to Salamatu. And Salamatu being poor with her Thatchers once again. Latifa to strike straight to the arms of Gloria, goalkeeper of Togo. Amra to Idaya. Idaya to Jessica, but Jessica slips, with Burkina Faso with the advantage of getting possession. Burkina Faso, Ajuvi makes amends for her colleague Jessica. Salamatu to Munifatu. Salamatu for Burkina Faso. Good save by Gloria. If this game, looking at how it's panning out to be, if we fail to get goals in the first half, maybe we might be in for a draw at the end of 90 minutes. Because any team that takes the lead, the other will definitely get the equalizer because they are active, they are good. Linda to Congo, Adama of Burkina Faso. Ovi of Togo. Tatiana, throw in. Throw in. Munifatu with the earlier clearance of Burkina Faso. Free kick given by the referee to Togo. And Jessica was the player that won that advantage for Togo. It's a free kick that Ajovi would take. She goes for goal, not on target, but the attempt was good, looking at the distance involved. Lenda to Ali Matu. Florentine Akuvi of Togo. Lenda wins for Burkina Faso. But the likes of Congo Adama, Salamatu Kunde and Florentine, the formation that has been deployed by the two coaches, all the two technical teams opted for the attacking formation 4-3-3. And these attackers of both teams would have to let us enjoy the game much more than we are doing. They need to create the chances. They need to create the angles favorable to them in order for them to get the goals. Even in football at the Babayara Sports Stadium for WAFU Zone B and the 20 girls tournament. February hold up 25 minutes and it's still goalless. The coaches would have to use this chance to ensure that these girls get their message right. Without that, they can't do much on the field. Pascal of Burkina Faso. Etiofil of Togo, a huge tax for them. Nigeria, their national team, the Falconets, they are here at the stadium. After their game, their coach Danjuma didn't allow the team to leave despite the fact that they were tired. He wanted them to stay and watch on because they have a crucial game against Burkina Faso in their next game. So they need to sit and watch on and get to know their opponents better so that when the day of reckoning comes for these two teams to be involved, they wouldn't fumble. They would continue with their excellent performance as they did when they played against Niger. Throw-in. The sense of urgency for Salifu of Togo to ensure that the Burkinabés are kept at arm's length. Alimata to Salamatu, back to Alimata. Jessica for Togo. But Diana Cynthia Kabori was well positioned to clear the lines for Burkina Faso. But the ball could only go as far as where Salifu is. Fatu of Burkina Faso. Salamatu to Congo Adama. But since Congo was sluggish in picking up that pass, Tatiana just had to sprawl away from her and get that pass to get her team going. Nice dip of a pass from Congo Adama. She receives the ball back and she has this to sprint forward for. At a point she held her run, and that allowed Tatiana to get a head start before her. Linda. Burkina Faso, Salamatu. And it's a goal. Nice transition, great build up by the Burkina base. Burkina Faso gets a goal to their credit. And Salamatu wasn't selfish. It started from the effort of Florentine all the way to Salamatu. And that short pass meant that Burkina Faso have finally gotten a goal in the half-hour mark of this game. And Munifatu Helbi gets the first goal for Burkina Faso in this tournament. So Burkina Faso 1, Togo 0. Half-hour mark. The goal, you might be wondering if it was timed, that it needs to come exactly at the half-hour mark after action. If you look at how Burkina Faso are playing, definitely it tells you that they are so much in full control of the game. Because in 2015, their team managed to reach the second round in the 2015 African Under-20 Women's World Cup qualifying tournament. Free kick to Burkina Faso as a result of the offside. And in 2019, the Burkina Faso Under-20 team equally reached the second round in the first edition of the UNAF Under-20 Women's Tournament. And this year, they had to go through and ensure that they make qualification to this WAFU Under-20 U Girls Tournament that Ghana is hosting. So they get a very good start with the first goal through Munifatu Helbi in the 30th minute. And having conceded, that means the front line of Togo, led by Bovi Iya, Tatiana, Kayaba, and Akuvi. Burkina Faso with this glaring chance to have made it 2 and double their lead. And once again, is Salamatu, who nearly had a second assist in the same game for Burkina Faso. Linda Florentine for Burkina. Nice pass. Gloria saves. Goal kick. And Gloria is asking her teammates to be well positioned, but that kick only went where Burkina Faso could have the chance to make it 2. She wanted the dip, but that would have been a beautiful goal. Naomi Adeli Kabri, she was being pushed, and I said she couldn't get a firm grip And a good touch in order to come up with a wonderful strike to make it 2 for Burkina Faso. Free kick. To Togo. Salifu. Another header from Jessica. Salamatu for Burkina. Great interception from Amra. Amela to Jessica of Togo. Togo on the attack for the first time in 30 minutes. But Fauziatu at a good place. Linda. The performance of Burkina Faso in such tournaments, they are very good starters. They really know how to be very consistent with performance in tournaments. Free kick for a foul on Congo Adama. Ameli was the player that committed the foul. With an expert in such free kicks, the likes of Florentine and Linda and Naomi Cabri, Burkina Faso can get something meaningful out of this free kick. But who would take it? Just a whisker. Nicely done. And Alimatu was the player that came up with that good and wonderful effort. 35 minutes. Burkina Faso 1, Togo 0. Jessica, but she runs into traffic, recovers, gets the possession, takes her time, raises her head to see where her teammate is, but the pass was overhead. Fauziatu gathers. Free kick, another one won by Tatiana. This is what she is requested to do. She is playing the central attacking role for Togo. She has Bovi and Akuvi to assist her. As we approach the 40th minute, a devastating scene to watch as she is in tears. The rank and file of those that matter in women's football in attendance. Burkina Faso would have something to hold on to in the first half through the goal that was scored by Munifatu in the 30th minute. And that was the assist from Salamatu before Munifatu scored the sideline goal for Burkina Faso. The composure, the calmness to find that slot. Goalkeeper Gloria just had to watch on. She couldn't do anything about it. Another matches that will be taking place for the WAFU Under-20 Girls Cup being held in Ghana, precisely at the Babara Sports Stadium. This means that Niger in the next game will play against Burkina Faso and Togo against Nigeria. And that means that Togo need to at least salvage a point in this game to avoid being eliminated in the group stage when they meet Nigeria, who are already on 3 points plus 7 goals. Ghana on Saturday would play against Ivory Coast. And coach Nora Hoptel, the coach of Ghana's Black Queens, at the Babara Sports Stadium watching on. Penalty for Burkina Faso for a foul on Naomi Adeli Kabri. So Burkina Faso have the chance from the 12-yard to make it 2-0. And the referee brandishes the first yellow card of the game. And who is going to take this? Alimata Belem against Gloria. Amivi gets the first yellow card of the game. If it's Alimata against Gloria from the 12-yard spot kick to double the lead of Burkina Faso, or miss, another to give Togo the hope. Alimata, she gets a chance on the rebound and fails to score again. And Togolese, they celebrate the huge heroics of Gloria. Both the first and the second save neatly done. That was the first, and Alimata thought she could make amends from the second, but she missed. So the scoreline still remains Burkina Faso 1, Togo 0. Tatiana for Togo. The scoreline wasn't doubled. The hopes of Togo is still alive. Tatiana twisting and turning around, and the crowd are cheering her on. Diana of Burkina throw in with just 3 minutes to end the first period of this game. A live telecast of the WAFU Zombie and the 20 Girls Tournament live on Max TV, kind courtesy of Viamax Media. Togo playing against Burkina Faso, but it's Burkina who are in the lead. They had a chance to even double it, but Alimata missed from the spot kick. Free kick, a handball against Togo's player Amra. So it will be free kick to Burkina Faso at a very advantageous area. She handled the ball in her attempt to clear her lines. These are not pardonable mistakes. Even had it been in the penalty area, it would have been another penalty. So Gloria needs to bring to bear what she did in the last few minutes of saving from the spot kick for Togo. Congo Adama and Alimata, the two players, are behind, but who will take it? Alimata does. Another save from Gloria. It was on target though, the effort from Alimata, but Gloria grabbed it to deny Burkina Faso the second. Salifu. So this would have to be throwing to Burkina Faso because the ball had already crossed and gone out of play. The 45 minutes for the first period has elapsed, awaiting the additional time. Eya wins free kick for Togo. And Togo's women's football saw their height being in 2022 when they took part in their first ever Women's African Cup of Nations that was held in Morocco. That was the height of their exploits. So 4 minutes of additional time. 4 minutes for Burkina Faso to double their lead. On the other hand, 4 minutes for Togo to seek parity. Great save by Fauziatu of Burkina Faso. Ajuvi had that strike on target. Togo, Tatiana Fauziatu coming out very swiftly, although the flag had gone up. And taking chances for referees to review it later isn't the situation for Fauziatu. At least there has been some level of delight and intrigue from the two teams. Congo Adama, goal kick. Congo Adama is yet to be on target despite scoring over 5 goals in their friendlies heading into this tournament. Tatiana for Togo. Tatiana to Salifu. Salifu retrieves and comes all the way to Ameli in the heart of midfield for that shoulder and support. Linda. Free kick. Naomi Kabri. was fouled by Ameli. And Alimata will take the captain that missed the penalty kick and the chance to ensure that Burkina had a very good cushion. Tatiana manages to find Akuvi, but the referee had to halt play and ensure that the advantage is given to Togo. A narrow lead isn't too much for Togo to try to do something about it in the second half. They get a free kick with just a minute to end the first half. And the third yellow card has been shown to Kabori. Tatiana goes for the ball for Togo. This is obviously from a position that she loves to take it by herself. Kabori Adeline gets the third yellow card. With the first attempt, the ball had crossed the line. And definitely Tatiana had it right. The referee blows her whistle to end proceedings for the first half in the second game in Group B of the WAFU Under-20 Girls Tournament, currently underway in the Garden City of Ghana. Burkina Faso 1, Togo 0. So second half would mean that Togo will need to come and start from the scratch, whereas Burkina Faso continue from the goal that they have gotten. So first half ends Burkina Faso 1, Togo 0. Monifatu Halbi had the only goal for Burkina. So this is how we started for the second game here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. After the respective renditions of the national anthems, with the pledges, the commitment by these players to die on the pitch for their flag and for their country, dying through getting the results. Following the toss, Togo needed to start from the right in yellow, whereas Burkina had to start from the left in white. The team that looked potent in the early minutes was Togo, but that lasted for only a few minutes as Burkina quickly settled and took the ball rather to the half of the Togolese. The effort of Salifu before Naomi Kabri. And looking at how they had to build from behind and come out with a very good save, with Salamatu failing to get the goal and Linda's attempt being blocked. The free kick taken before Togo clearing their lines. Gloria dealing with the ball that was initially sent by Salamatu. But Salamatu came back strongly with this assist to Munifatu, who found the back of the net to give Burkina Faso the much sought after goal to put them in the lead. And that was the goal scored by Munifatu Helbi for Burkina Faso. After taking the lead, they had this glaring chance to double with that dip from Naomi Cabri. But Gloria, the goalkeeper of Togo, was on top of her game. Tatiana wanted to get the equalizer to the strike, but Fauzia too was good. Naomi Cabri won this penalty, but Ali Mata failed to double the lead for Burkina Faso. Even with the second attempt, double save by Gloria. After trailing, it meant that Togo had to do things right, but that wasn't fruitful, even with a save that Fauziatu made to deny them from getting that equalizer. And there's 1v1 with Fauziatu doing better. So that's how the teams turned up for the first period. So the first half ends, Burkina Faso 1, Togo 0. Recess for the two teams.
Afei na twere ensem a ese moni duana ba mfa na haban ensa yale na abamu. Dr. Tam da so ama oyalefo bia nya enida so se ne yale befire ne so. Wo ebra wode nani akyerem wo medimafo heba clinic. Oyalefo ba ho na ohye na ebra empa ho. Gise de wawuo ana wasie no nko na ontumi. Abubuafo enante anifrafo esna panie. Stroke, diabetes, pressure na yale enkan ni nyina aye entetia case. Wasiesie na yale sabia ho kama. Doctor se fakakra bi beje wayalesa wo Kumase abuakwa agogo. Oyalefo bia kaise udimafo ye medimafo heba clinic. Dr. Time that's all.
Hey, catch it. Don't boss you. I don't want anything to go wrong on my baby's day. Yeah, we pay our warrior. In fact, watch some anyone.
Hey, subhanallah.
If it hey, Nene,
I'm already wearing a pad. Can I relax? No, my day is ruined, you guys. You don't understand.
take this.
Everyone is talking about it. It has a super soft cotton feel.
I've lived in need, but not you, my daughter. This is Reflow sanitary pads. They are heavy pads, have 4 wings to prevent leakages.
Once the Reflow Senkai, it's up to 10 hours of absorbency. The diapers are what JJ uses.
And no one am a debua uniano manu na a strong cra. See, everybody knows Acrobato, and if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. As an international journalist and actor, my health is my priority. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar in terms of my health. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Sister, please, you, let him talk to you. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesenami and Kasami period, unless a problem is room.
Intina ma wo ho idea ma me. Papa patches and anya asem ketewa. Na mkwan point no, mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro a me fire no. Ene ma won kra mienu. Foforo kwa na mkwan mu a eba. Ti ani je dia ba fie pa.
You heard everything yourself.
Me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante. And then ko end point omama nura and then why dia wetimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Of Akrobato.
Hello.
Hey, Oshisho what chair?
Okay.
A free bra with the end point what dance. I'm a choir no. Me Johnson say my name Koye and person my name Renina and then Magina Sabema. Now me be here for the one in
You heard everything. I have secret. End point is my secret. End point homeopathy clinic. I'm free.
So me sorry anopa and nam say me didn't nafa lady clean see me hunti no eni chi a me de sorry efri mpam eya sonko adwuma mu so me to make it come me ho eya adwuma yie sane yese and nam say me de nafa lady clean eni see me ho so me po adwuma I can't or the befie edem. Me stretch your cry and nam say me de nafa lady clean and see me home. Nafa lady clean a feminine hygiene washer. E boa esesi oba wa himfi. Omra won think aboni bia. Nafa lady clean. Feel confident with Nafa lady. This advert has been vetted and
It's halftime here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium where Burkina Faso has taken the commanding lead by 1-0. Prince, first half, good for the two teams. Looking at the Togolese and then Burkina Faso as a match-to-match game as we are seeing.
First half, I would give credit to both sides. Right from the blast of the referee's whistle, we saw that the Togolese were very cautious in their build-up. They kept the ball to themselves, at least for the better part of the first 2 minutes. The ball was in their own half. Yeah. We were watching the strategy of the Burkinabe, and then they came out. That build-up nearly resulted in a goal. But that was the awakening call also for the Burkinabe team. I think that technically, the Burkina showed a lot more technical ability and sense up front with the game. Especially when they pick the ball in defense and they go through the middle. You realize that there are two fullbacks and the wingers all follow up in attack. So there's width in their game. On one of those marauding runs and a counter run, they managed to control firmly in the 18-yard box. And they saw the first goal. That again for me was something that had been practiced from the training field. They knew exactly what they were doing. After the goal, again, you saw a little technical change tweaked by the Togolese officials. They now decided to employ a lot of the run-ins so that they would catch the Burkinabe on the break and then try and muster in courage. Unfortunately, the lady in the number 12 shirt has not been fed enough for the Togolese. She's very good. Dexterity on her feet was clear and evident the first ball she touched. I've been expecting that at least they will feed her with a lot of the balls so that she can create some space for the Togolese to run at. But all said and done, I think that it's been a 50-50 encounter. They've both had the chances. They've created the opportunities. This obviously has been a far better, exciting game than the first one we saw.
We've seen the Togolese senior national team going as high at the WAFU last season in Morocco, and this is nothing new to the Togolese national team. But looking at the way they conceded in the penalty and the zeal of the goalkeeper, making sure double save, pushing them 1-0 down isn't bad. Second half, what do you expect? And especially, let's talk about the penalty. A goalkeeper saving double save.
Kudos to the goalkeeper. I think she must have read the taker of the penalty kick very well. She went one direction, one position. The goalkeeper went the same way. Saved it the first time. They could not capitalize on the rebound. She was there again to save it. And we've seen a few of those technical mistakes in the game. Breaking the ball when the pass is given to them has not been that perfect. So you realize that when they break the ball, it skids off the shin and then the opponent can get it. But in the second half, I think the trend will follow or will flow just as the first has been. I'm sure the Burkinabe technical team would tell the players to rather relax on the ball. The Togolese are exerting a lot of pressure, and so they may tire out towards the dying embers of the game. And I think Burkina Faso, if they keep their composure, can take advantage of that. But if the tide turns and the Togolese find their feet, Nafisa, we are in for a second half.
First half is equally energetic and then more organized when it comes to the first half. Taking the lead for Burkina Bay, does it mean is the done deal for them, or you seen Togolese coming back? Because they haven't been bad itself, just one or two mistakes that resulted in the goal. And then they made sure that one goal, they go into the recess with one goal. Do you see them coming back in the second half?
Togolese can definitely get back into the game. We've seen some decent moves from them.
A draw?
A draw would be a fair result looking at the standard of the game. But I'm sure they all want to go for a win.
Okay, so we will see how it happens here. It's Burkina Faso and Togo here, and the first half was 1-0 in favor of Burkina Faso. We'll be handing over to Esther to take us through the 45 minutes. Thank you.
Back to the Baba Yara Sports Stadium for the second half and the second game in Group B involving Burkina Faso and Togo. The first half ended through the goal that was gotten for Burkina Faso by Munifatu in the 30th minute. That has been the only goal. So if you missed the first half, don't worry much. Join us, let's enjoy the second half together. Togo coming in the second half meant that they would have to ensure that they have well re-strategized and regrouped to avoid conceding further, but rather getting their equalizer and possibly maybe winning the game. So here we go for the second half. Burkina Faso against Togo. Congo Azama of Burkina Faso. And since Burkina are playing from left, they are playing from right to left in the second half, it would mean that Togo are rather playing in the second half from the left to right. Azama, Congo. A referee says that it should be free kick to Burkina. Although Amra protested her innocence, that she didn't do anything to her, a referee said, my attention was drawn by someone who is there to assist me, and she saw how events unfolded. It should be an advantage for the team that have already gotten a goal in this game. So free kick, and Florentine has decided to allow her captain Alimata Belem to rather take it for them in their quest to double their lead. Will this be on target? Gloria has been very good in goal post in the first half for Burkina. Goal kick. Alimata, who missed penalty in the first period of the game, was the one who took that free kick. Salamatu to Munifatu, the goal scorer. But why did Naomi hold her run at a point? She wasn't certain that she could at least get to the ball before Gloria. WAFU Zone B. some matches would be taking place. A different competition being contested by different countries. Host nation Ghana, who are in Group A, Benin and Ivory Coast. All these three teams in Group A. In Group B, Nigeria, Burkina Faso, Togo and Niger. The first game has already been played. Nigeria won by 7-0 when they played against Niger at 3 p.m. earlier today. This is the second game for Group B. And if Burkina can hold on with this lead till the end of the game, it would mean they will be in the second position in Group B. Togo, Tatiana. But Fauziatu had a touch on the ball when she came out earlier. Fauziatu making herself big enough with her strength in the air. And when that couldn't pose any threat. Salifu with a corner kick for Togo. Togo! Tatiana with the attempt. Not on target. But has been applauded by her coaches, as they hope that the second one would result in their equalizer. Free kick and the third yellow to Togo. "50 minutes. That was the foul of Naomi Adele Cabri. And Isoso gets the third yellow card of the game. Linda seeking after the warfare of her teammates. It was quite a nasty tackle from Isoso of Togo. But both teams are yet to make substitutions. Naomi was the player that had a penalty for them in the first half. But unfortunately, Alimata, the captain of Burkina Faso, missed it. She was there on the verge of doing another one when she was clattered into by Isoso. Alimata to Congo Adama. Tatiana. Free kick, another one to Burkina. And the Togolese would have to be very cautious with their tackles. Since they are trailing, the worst frustration they can go through at the moment is to get a red card. That would be a double jeopardy for them. Gloria. Linda for Burkina, but Tatiana. Free kick. Tatiana wins. Free kick for Togo. although the distance is quite wide. Surprises can be pulled. Double substitution for Togo. Kwasiwa Novi is coming in to replace Amivi. So that's one of the substitutions being made by the Togolese technical team. Free kick taken. Goal kick to Burkina Faso. Fauziatu lifts it for her captain, Alimata. Naomi. Congo to Salamatu, who sprouts away. But Gloria in good position to comfortably deal with it. Naomi to Linda. And another pass in excess, showing too much of it to Gloria. Another substitution for Togo. Ajovi Wovi comes in to replace Jessica. And that tells you that the Togolese coach is throwing in all his cards because he has only 30 minutes to get the equalizer and the possible winner. The next game of Togo is against Nigeria, whereas Burkina Faso will take on Niger. So on paper, you would say Burkina Faso might be having 6 points because Niger are yet to fully settle in this tournament. Throw in Salamatu with a swift one to Munifatu, the goal scorer of this game. Lenda misses to Amele. Naomi with a strike of target, goal kick. And it was Lenda that served Naomi Cabri with a pass. Bovi Ia commits a foul on Alimata. It is free kick. Alimata was pushed by Bovi. Isoso of Togo, who is already on a yellow card. This time around, she decides to show back and avoid committing the foul. And that meant that she was rather the one who had to be fouled. This competition, which began yesterday, is expected to end on the 3rd of June at the same venue. Fauziatu at the right place for Burkina. on the 3rd of June, a winner would be crowned the champion of this maiden tournament. And since it's maiden, a lot of records have been set before the subsequent one can take place. And one of those records was the hat-trick that Esther Okpeyemi of Nigeria had in their game against Niger. Fauziatu. Lenda to Florentine, receives the ball. Monifatu, goal kick. But there was a slight touch from Idaya Salifu. So corner kick would be taken by Salamatu of Burkina Faso in the 60th minute. The hour mark in that game. Salamatu with the corner kick. Burkina with a chance to make it to another corner kick. That attempt from Lenda took ricochet off Ajovi. The second successive corner, a header saved by Gloria. Goal kick. So all the chances are coming to the Burkina Faso. And Gloria is doing the saves at least to ensure that the scoreline doesn't change for Togo. Minutes, Burkina Faso 1, Togo 0. Burkina, Naomi, but no player was there. Burkina with that second follow-up offside. It's offside because Naomi was already in an offside position after her first attempt with a cross that went across the face of goal. She couldn't reposition herself better when the second came because she found herself in that offside position. Lenda, Cynthia Kabori to Congo Adama. Amra, Babokina, Alimata. With just "28 minutes more to end the game. Free kick. Monifatu, the goal scorer, wins the free kick for Burkina. Naomi, great turn and a good strike, but Gloria, she has indeed been the savior in the heart of goal post. But look at that turn from Adama. Adama Congo. Throw in for lack of communication between Idaya Salifu and Isoso. The giveaway throw in at a very good position that Burkina Faso would be happy about. Goal kick. Isoso of Togo is lying on the pitch, looking at the set target of this tournament and looking at how players and different talents have been unearthed in this game. And in this tournament, it would mean that the various national teams of these participating teams would have no problem at all getting players to beef up their respective sides. We saw transition being well practiced by Ghana and Nigeria through the squad that they mentioned. And there you have the president of the Ghana Football Association, Ketias Okreku, who doubles, of course, as the president of WAFU Zone B, together with the chief of staff of the Ghana Football Association, Mr. Michael Osekere Bogdan, and then executive council member Fred Achi. All of them here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium to witness this even and wonderful game of football. It's going to be goal kick, a face for Togo. It's 65 minutes. The advantage has been given the way of Burkina. The fourth yellow card of the game shown to Togolese player who is also a substitute, Kwasiwa Novi. Alimata will take this free kick. She goes for the long range one. Ajovi is not pressured as she takes her time to send it out of the penalty area for Togo. Alimata with a good first touch. Good interception from Kovi of Togo. Jessica finds Ameli. It's free kick for a foul on Linda. She has been that dependable retriever in the heart of midfield for Burkina Faso. She had 2 goals in their friendlies. The coach of Burkina Faso, Pascal, is hoping that his girl, the injury that she seems to be limping off at the moment, wouldn't take her off in their subsequent games, because he really needs her to man his midfield. Alimata Kabori. The ball hasn't gone out yet. Idaya for Togo. And Munifatu was just trying to ensure that she keeps and pile that pressure enough for Idaya to commit. Throw in. These teams and these players would be having the chance of joining their senior team in their respective sides, just as we saw in the situation of Ghana, where the likes of Sterling Amiche had a call-up during Coach Nora Hoptel's first selection. Kabori. "70 minutes, Burkina Faso 1, Togo 0. Kabori for Burkina. In the next game, Burkina Faso would be playing against Niger, whereas Togo would face Nigeria. In other games, Ivory Coast will play against Ghana and Togo against Niger, together with Nigeria playing against Burkina Faso. And all these games, with the exception of Nigeria's game against Burkina Faso on the 23rd at the Pajo Stadium, other games would mean that Ghana, in their next game, with even a draw, they have secured qualification to the semis. Naomi slips. Referee plays the advantage because that wasn't a foul on her. Iakpovi to Linda. Burkina. Throw in. The tiring legs of Togo under 20 women's team is making it difficult for them to even come out of their shell and force a save out of Fauzia too. It's been more than 15 minutes that the Togolese have had a shot on target in the second half. You look at how majestically Latifatu is walking towards the throw, the ball, in order to throw it in for affairs to get started. You would really know that they are so much certain, so much optimistic that the scoreline is going to favor them the most so far as the ambition of progressing out of the group stage is concerned. Offside against Tatiana. This would have been a 1v1. And that could possibly have meant that Tatiana could have gotten the equalizer. And you look at the number of clubs that are in Togo. Ahe FC Women, the likes of Atlanta FC Togo Women, Atlanta FC Believer, Jaber FC Women, Experience Women, and Tempeti women, they equally have US Amo women and the Winner Girls FC. All these teams are teams that these players can have the chance of being signed if only they performed better, with the exception of a few of them that already are aligned to clubs. Just as she began in the first half, Naomi Cabri is continuing in the second half, and Amele gets the 5th yellow card of this game. Naomi has proven to be a very tough customer for the defenders. Akwale Degbe is coming in for Akuvi Deborah. With just 15 minutes to end the game. The day is over. For Amele. Gloria has to defend this. She has to be in outer command and top notch in the save as she has done earlier in this game for them. Off target, goal kick. Congo Adama. Her ambition wasn't fruitful. Goal kick. Naomi Cabri. Naomi once again, but she runs into traffic. Tatiana. The throw in to Burkina Faso. Togo have a very vibrant women's league. Since they started in 2000, that is 23 years ago, they've had at least 16 teams participating in their league, whereas Ghana has 20. And the recently introduced CAF Women's Champions League in 2021, Togo had most of their clubs represented. The current champion of their league, Amaze Dumonde, have 3 players in this final list. That have made it to the WAFU Under-20 girls tournament being held in Ghana. Burkina have one of their players down, and the player has already removed her boots. Congo Adama. Reminds me of some of those antics being made by players. The stretcher was brought, but she's back on her feet, and the referee has already spotted that it's one of those usual antics. She easily tells her to get off the field and get dressed properly before coming back on the pitch. Just 12 minutes to end this game. A defeat wouldn't look good for Togo. They were seeking to have a good standing before this game commenced. having seen how very excellent the Nigerians were and going to face them next in their second game. They needed to face them at least with a point. Monifatu, she stopped easily by Amra. Alimata. Alimata to Monifatu, the lady who had the goal. Florentine. Goal kick. So this means that Burkina Faso haven't made any change at all in this game. As we approach the 80th minute of the game. Whereas the Togolese Women's League was introduced in the year 2000, the Burkinabe's Women's Championship, on the other hand, was introduced. Burkina Faso, Naomi. One v1, but she missed. She wanted to have a dip on the ball, but it went in a different direction. The Burkinabe Women's Championship introduced 2002, that is 21 years ago. For them, unlike Ghana's 20 and Togo's 16, Burkina Faso have 14 teams competing. Burkina Faso with a chance to make it 3. Naomi once again, she misses just a whisker. That could have been 2 goals in less than 2 minutes for Naomi. She always gets herself in goal scoring positions. Amra had to intercept through that deflection for it to be corner kick. Another corner kick. And Ajovi nearly scored an own goal. The first miscue for Idaya and the second for Ajovi. Linda. Free kick. Free kick to Burkina Faso. These two teams have rich history in women's football. They have very active leagues. Their leagues have been producing great champions. Burkina also had reps in the maiden edition of the CAF Women's Champions League. But if you look at the year that their league was introduced in 2002, they had their maiden inaugural champions to be Princesses FC du Kadiogo. And this name Kadiogo does rhyme a lot in Ghana's football space. Free kick to Burkina Faso. Ali Mata, she scores. What a standing goal. She makes amends for having missed the penalty. Look at the explosion of joy from their technical team. They ran onto the pitch. Well taken free kick. And Ali Mata, having failed from scoring from the 12-yard, scored for Burkina Faso to make it to finally. They have a secured lead. Alimata makes it to. She is very delighted. She knows that this is a huge relief on her shoulders. As the captain, she took on the responsibility of taking that penalty, but she missed. But to have gotten the second chance of making amends means that she would be a happy soul. The most happiest of the players on the pitch today. Burkina Faso 2, Togo 0. With just 6 minutes to end games for the opening matches in Group B. And Alimata Belem, who just scored, is a player of Gazelles FC Ducat Diogo in Burkina Faso. This is a team that has gotten their most decorated female team to be Columbus FC, who have won the Women's Championship in 2014, 2015. They won it in 2016, 2017, 2018, and they equally won it again in 2021 and 2022. Five minutes on the dot. Even with the first goal that Togo conceded in the 30th minute in the first half, they really struggled and fought hard to at least get the equalizer, but it wasn't fruitful. Congo Amra with the possession for Togo. Idaya goes to the ground. With just 4 minutes on the dot to end the game. WAFU Zone B Girls Tournament. 7 countries competing for the coveted trophy. Alimata to Fauzia, to her goalkeeper, but the goalkeeper gives it back to the captain, Alimata. Fauzia to Gathers with just 3 minutes to end this game. Throw into Burkina. They haven't made any change in this game. The players that started, all of them have maintained their respective positions. And the coach, Pascal, is happy with their performance. They haven't shown any sign of fatigue at all. Florentine, she receives the ball back. Congo Adama. Gloria. Alimata. She sent it to her goalkeeper Fauzia too. A live telecast made possible on your screens by IMAX Media. They've gotten the goals already. Florentine to Naomi, good control, but Florentine was in an outside position. They have really done the job. And this is where at the dressing room, the first statement or word from their coach would be merci. Très bien. For a great job done. That will be the first message of Pascal, the coach of Burkina Faso, to his girls. So Group A, this is how the group would look like. For Group A, as it stands, Ghana is already leading with 3 points and 3 goals. Ivory Coast second. Benin third in Group A. And looking at the scoreline that we've gotten in Group B's second game, it would mean that Nigeria will lead Group. It will be 4 minutes of additional time. It's 4 minutes to end the game. In Group B, this is how the standings would look like. Nigeria first with 3 points plus 7 goals. Burkina Faso to follow second with 3 points plus 2 goals. Togo will be third without any points minus 2 goals, whereas Niger will be fourth in Group B without any points minus 7 goals. Burkina Faso have a player being stretched off in the 90th minute of the game. So Burkina are temporarily down to 10 girls on the pitch. Togo would have the advantage in terms of the numbers. And the player that was stretched off was Diana Cynthia Kabori of Burkina Faso. Idaya heads it off to safety for Togo, who started quite on a good note, but they weren't consistent. Burkina Faso, who settled later in the game, rather had the goal, and they've gotten another one to make it double in the second half. Naomi on the run for Burkina. Miscommunication. And safety starts off first by Ajovi. Gloria had already committed when she came out, but because they couldn't communicate efficiently with her, they had to clear off to the nearest, safest area. Corner kick for Burkina. Cleared away as far as where Iya Kovi is with just 30 seconds to end the game. So that means that Burkina Faso have made only one change in the entire 90 minutes game. They have made only one change, and that is a change that is seeing Congo Adama leaving the pitch for Daniela to come in. The referee might blow her whistle any moment from now to end affairs. Good day at the office, good results for Burkina Faso. Bad day at the office, poor result for Togo. The 4 minutes of additional time has elapsed already. Fauzia 2 of Burkina Faso takes the kick. All eyes are on the referee because the time is up. Togo with the last moment to at least string some of those passes together that they failed to do in the entire 90 minutes of the game. Linda to Naomi. Naomi finds Florentine. It's all over here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium for match day 2 of the WAFU Zombie Under-20 Girls Tournament underway in Kumasi. Burkina Faso 2, Togo 0. Good results for the Burkina base.
Sorry anopa enam se me din nafa lady clean siesie me hunti no eni chi a me de sorry efrim pam eye sonko adwuma mu nso metumi keka me ho eye adwuma yie sane yese enam se me din nafa lady clean eni siesie me ho so me po adwuma Kika or the befie edem. Me stretch your cra and nam send me the Nafa Lady Clean and a CSC me home. Nafa Lady Clean, a feminine hygiene washer, a poor SSC or bar, what he fee, or mra won't think of one idea. Nafa Lady Clean. Feel confident with Nafa Lady. This advert has been vetted and approved by the.
Everybody knows Acrobato, and if you know Acrobato, it means you know M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. As an international journalist and actor, my health is my priority. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic is my pillar in terms of my health. Let's hear what others are saying about M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. Sister, please, you, let him talk to you. Who will be careful M-Punch one?
Chesenami and Kasami problems room. Intina ma wo ho idea ma me papa chese na nya asem ketewa na me kwan point no mo hwe me modem no mo hwe bibia na so mo meduro me fire no ene ma won kra mienu hofro kwa na mkwan mu a eba ti ani je dia ba fie pa.
You heard everything yourself.
Me ma me no adwodwo eda ho a wontumi nante ene ne ko end point o mama no nura ene ne ho eden a watimi asori anante.
That's end point for you.
Of Acrobato.
Hello.
Hey, ohwehwe what che.
Okay.
A free bra wo di end point wa dance. Me ko ye no. Me Johnson se man enkoyie empeso na maye mre nyina na magina sebema na me be fie for there e ho ade nyina jaresa.
You heard everything. I have secret. M-Punch is my secret. M-Punch Homeopathic Clinic. I'm free. Hey, catch it. Don't boss you. I don't want anything to go wrong on my baby's day. Yeah, we pay our warrior. In fact, watch some many munyam. Me ko washroom brawate
Hey,
Subhanallah.
If it hey, Jesus, I'm already wearing a pad. Can I relax? No, my day is ruined, you guys. You don't understand.
Take this.
everyone is talking about it. It has a super soft cotton feel.
I've lived and lived, but not you, my daughter. This is Reflow sanitary pads. They are heavy pads, have 4 wings to prevent leakages.
Once the Reflow Senkai, it's up to 10 hours of absorbency. The diapers are what JJ uses.
And no one am a debua uniano manu na a strong cra.
She.
Doctor to baby,
afei na twere ensem a ese moni dua na ba mfo na haban ensa yale na abamu Dr. Tam da so ama oyalefo bia nya enida so se ne yale befire ne so wo ebra wode nani akyerem wo medimafo heba clinic oyalefo ba ho na ohye na ebra empa ho gise de wawuo ana wasie no nko na ontumi abubuafo enante anifrafo esna panie stroke diabetes pressure ne yale enkan ne nyina aye entetia case wasiesie na yale sabia ho kama doctor se fakakrabi beje wayalesa wo kumase abuakwa ago oyalefo bia kaise udimafo ye medimafo heba clinic Dr. Time that's all.
Ouais, Alima, félicitations. Bon, je te demande, aujourd'hui ta performance était très élevée. Quel est le secret?
Non, je n'ai pas de secret. C'est juste le travail. C'est juste un travail d'équipe et un travail individuel aussi. Il n'y a pas de secret.
I just asked her today, her performance was superb. And what was the secret? What did she do right? And her answer was that there's nothing about secret. It was a teamwork, and her colleagues helped her for this award. So it was a teamwork, and again, a teamwork that's helped her. Now, la prochaine question, la question c'est que tu as vu l'équipe que vous avez joué contre eux aujourd'hui. Par rapport à votre équipe, vous avez suivi les autres matchs. Comment vous avez trouvé votre équipe?
Bon, je trouve que nous, on a une très bonne équipe. On a un effectif qui peut aboutir à quelque chose. Les filles sont concentrées et dans une équipe, s'il y a la solidarité, rien n'est impossible, quoi.
It has been 90 minutes of action here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium, where Burkina Faso beat Togo by 2-0. It has been an interesting match day 2 here at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. The first one was between Nigeria and Niger, and the scoreline was 7-0. And the second match just ended, Burkina Faso taking their chances and beating Togo by 2-0. Prince, we have experienced quiet women's football here today. Let's delve into Burkina Faso in their second half, because first half we already talked about it. What new did they bring on board, and how did Togo also responded to?
Well, they brought on board the effortless nature with which they are able to move into enemy territory. You realize that they were good on the ball. Technically, I told you during the halftime break that they were the more superior side. The Togolese were in a haste, first of all in the first half, to score a goal. But second half, when they came on, they were eager to get back into the game. Of course, they were trailing by 1-0. But then you realize that the coach quickly had to summon a lot of courage on behalf of the Burkina girls to change or tweak what's happening in the middle. So they had a lot of ball control. You realize that the captain left her defensive duties and then joined the attack as and when. as an all-round team, it was easy for Burkina to move in and out. Technically, they were good, so they controlled the aerial ability of the game, and then they also tried as much as possible to get into open spaces. The Togolese, because of their hasty decisions they took on the field of play, it prevented them from really constructing any positive move which could get them a goal. Indeed, I was sitting right behind the under-20 head coach, Basigi, together with Nora Hoptel. They were watching the game closely, and you could decipher from their body movements that, yes, indeed, they had seen a few deficiencies in both teams, something that the Black Princesses can capitalize on should they meet any of these two teams. But again, Burkina were the hungrier side. They used their technical abilities and they won the day.
So Burkina used their strength and then their energy, because they could play almost 90th minute without a change, knowing that, yes, the 11 players on the field of play didn't come to joke. They were that strength, and then they have that energy to go to almost the 90 minutes. As you said, it has been an interesting, a good exercise from CAF. The WAFU Zone B girls have exhibited their talent. At least all the 7 teams have now played. It almost left with Cote d'Ivoire, who is here to kick a ball here at this. What are we expecting? What do we go into? Because tomorrow, at least, will be a resting day for them. Togo comes back with Benin in the match day 3. Yeah. So, what are we expecting from Togo that we have? Cote d'Ivoire that we haven't seen yet.
Cote d'Ivoire, just like their counterparts from Burkina Faso, have also embarked on that developmental program. I remember back in the day when the Black Queens were trying to qualify for one of the AFCONs. One of the key matches they played was against Mama Elephant in La Côte d'Ivoire. Very, very tough game it was. He had to take the experience of the likes of Adjoa Bayo and co to get Ghana going in that game. But the Ivorians have lifted up their game from then. And just like the Burkina team, I'm also expecting them to come show their technical and their tactical superiority when they play. Of course, they've also had the added advantage of watching the other teams play. So they have seen some of the strengths and, of course, the weaknesses of the team. But as to whether they can use that to capitalize on a positive result, that remains to be seen. But then again, who knows? This competition is unearthing the kind of talent that we've seen on the West Coast terrain. And it will be good enough to also see what the Ivorians have to offer as we go forward. All
right. This is where time will permit us. It has been our cherished viewers who have been watching us throughout the afternoon up to this time, and our main sponsors who have made sure this match came to you live at your various home. It's Midimafo Herbal Clinic, Reflow Sanitary Pad, Endpoint Homeopathic Clinic, Max Buy, and then Nafa Feminine Wash. So till next 2 days or next time, as a bye-bye from us in Kumasi Baba Yara Sports Stadium. Bye.
Order for me then check if you Manswa Herbal Clinic at the Bro Bibia will be. Manswa Herbal Clinic, bear some money healing our portion. I just say, what would see me? What would share me? I just say, one. O bank one day I am Sabaya. Oh, what was the man who will be video for our back idea? Oh, man.